Okay, so I'm just going to come out and say this. If you're trying to become a healthier, fitter, happier individual by changing your behavior and changing your body, I can honestly say there's not a better time to be doing this, because right now you have so much information available to you. Like, there is literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pieces of information available to you on the internet, through social media, through different coaches, through different medical professionals, psychologists, philosophers, business people, athletes, all kinds of individuals and groups and organizations that are there to give you the information that you need to be able to change your life, turn things around, and become a better version of yourself. And so I guess subconsciously, I've been thinking, there's no better time. So what is everyone's excuse? Like, what is your excuse? Why aren't you doing the things that you need to do? And I hadn't really thought about it too deeply. But even before I became a personal trainer, people used to come to me and ask me for health and fitness advice because of what I was able to do physically. The work that I put in, they didn't see, but at the same time, that gave me the experience that I got before I even got qualified and became a personal trainer. It gave me the experience to understand my body, to understand how to exercise, to understand what my muscles required, what my joints required, how to recover properly, what I needed to consume nutritionally, and how I needed to prepare myself for exercise, and what kind of routines to get into that would provide me with the best results. And that was a lot of that was through trial and error. And then I obviously wanted to work inside the gyms, and I chose not to. I became self-employed. I worked from home. I became a trainer, and I was, I enjoyed that for a short period of time. But that taught me a hell of a lot as well, in that it taught me how to actually implement these things into other people's lives, and the difficulty of translating the amount of work that's required and the amount of effort that's required just to make a simple decision, just to change one small thing in your life, and the massive impact that can make long term if you adhere to that and you have any level of consistency. Like, even if you do something throughout the week and then you just don't do it on a Sunday, for example, changing your sleeping pattern is really beneficial for you. Obviously, nutrition can be an absolute game changer. Just some regular activity can spike your calorific expenditure, and therefore, help you to reduce body fat. And there's so many things that you can do, small things that you can do to change it. And then with the growth of the online fitness industry, what's happened is that people have begun to compete. And so you, as an individual trying to find this information online, you're unfortunately the victim of too much information being actually available to you. And a lot of it is really, really good information. But what you'll find is you'll be looking for one thing and you'll find 10. And then you'll be looking to implement those 10 things. And there's 10 different versions of those 10 things that you can implement. And now you've got 100 choices to make. When you woke up this morning, you were only worried about one thing that you wanted to change in your life. And now you have 100 things going through your mind. And it just seems to like slam the door in your face and say, like, you're either not ready for this, you're not prepared for this. This is more work than you ever thought it was going to be. And so a lot of people, I think, are struggling. And I don't just think this, I'm not just guessing. I know people that are struggling with this. And when you speak to them, and you're able to clarify things, and you're able to say, you can ignore all of that noise and you can just do this one thing now, and that will make a huge difference in your life. The relief that they experience is unbelievable. And it's such a shame that there aren't more people trying to simplify things online rather than trying to show off about, I have a PhD, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break everything down and give you all the science. And then I'm going to tell you to do these 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things. And the chances are you're not going to do any of them because I haven't thought about your situation. I haven't thought about your psychology. I haven't thought about your restrictions, your limitations. And I'm putting you in a situation where before you can even involve yourself in any of these activities, be it going to the gym, buying food, going to bed at a certain time, dealing with the logistics of where you can go and who you can do things with, I'm just going to give you this list of things. And the first thing you're going to do is find the reasons, and sometimes excuses, but most of the time reasons why you're just not able to do what I've basically advised you to do. And therefore they go away and they look for another solution because that's not right for them. And they're finding a similar person giving them different solutions, but in a similar way. So it's all complex. It's all do all of these things. We're talking about, people are talking about the science of sugar and insulin. People are talking about obviously carnivore versus vegan, and people are talking about slow, moderate cardiovascular training and resistance training, and the importance of resistance training and the importance of not overtraining and the importance of recovery, and all of these things mix into a big melting pot. And then when you wake up every morning and you want to get up and get out and make small changes in your life that are consistent, so that actually, these changes are going to happen because you're being consistent, you're being flooded with all this information and a sprinkle of misinformation, and you're not able to actually make any kind of changes whatsoever. So to cut a long story short, because I don't want to start waffling, but what I thought I'd do is I'm going to come on here, and I thought what I'll do is I won't be one of those people. I'm not going to be one of those guys. I'm not going to start throwing all of the science at you. I'm not going to try to justify all of the things that I'm going to advise that you do. I'm going to do this on a personal level, okay? I've worked with people one-on-one, and I've worked with groups, and I've done classes, and I've been out and, stood in the rain and watched people run around and get tired and go home with a massive smile on their face because of what they've achieved and how they feel and the progress they've made from the weeks, months beforehand. So this is very different for me. Online coaching isn't something that I really planned on doing. It's not something that I think was necessary years ago, but now I can see that whilst it's attractive for people to take things into their own hands, gain all the information, learn everything, and take it all on themselves, I do think that sometimes you need somebody to guide you, but that guide needs to be someone who understands that you're going to need to be drip-fed information that is going to take hold and is going to make a difference straight away so that you can adhere to it, so that you have this ongoing relationship with success, so that you're able to set a goal, achieve that goal, and put that success, put those stripes on your shoulder and walk around with them and say, this is what I'm doing now. This is who I am now, right? This is how I live my life, and be able to see, physically, this is the difference that it's made. So how I'm going to do that is I'm obviously going to have to program some of this information and make it available to you. I do have a website that I'm working on right now where I can give you that information. Some of it I'm going to give it away for free because I think that anybody making this start, if you're just getting started on this journey and you don't go out and exercise, you don't go to the gym, you don't really watch what you eat, or maybe you do, but you don't know what to eat. So you're constantly starting and stopping different diets, and you're struggling with your weight. Your hormones are all over the place. You haven't got really any regularity in your life, and maybe you're highly stressed as well. Maybe you take on a lot of stress. Maybe you're in a situation that a lot of us are in right now, where we've just got to focus on other things. Life is more important than looking good, feeling good, and being happy when you have massive priorities that if you ignore them all of that stuff is still going to be there, but everything you've worked for goes away. Let's face it. We don't live in a fairy tale. It's easy for people to come on here, go on YouTube and say, just think positive thoughts, manifest positivity and your life will change, and just sit around and think happy thoughts and everything will change. Well, when it doesn't, and you've wasted lots of time doing that, you're going to be resentful, you're going to be regretful, and it's not going to help you. So what I would personally advise is, yes, be positive, but plan positivity. Plan what you're going to do that's going to make you feel positive, and do so realistically, and set small, achievable goals for yourself, and then achieve those goals so that you can do that repetitively, so that begins a positive cycle of reward and setting tasks and being rewarded. There's no risk in this for anybody. Like, if you're going to the gym right now and you're thinking, well, this guy, is just going to start programming like little exercises and diets and this, that, and that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is helping you to actually understand the core principles of what it is you need to do, the core principles of how you need to move, of how you need to consume, of how you need to recover. And therefore, we can then begin to integrate that into all areas of your life. So you're not shackled to the gym, right? You don't have to go to the gym religiously. You can if you want to. If you want to go to the gym every single day, you can go every single day. That's what gives you the endorphins and the rush that you need to feel great and have a great start of. Maybe you go at 6 o'clock in the morning and you have a wonderful start to your day because you go to the gym. And then some guy says to you, well, you have to do really heavy resistance training. And so you go and do that, and you wake up 2-3 days later and you ache so much, you hurt so much that you just don't want to go to the gym now. And so that's ruined your routine. And now you haven't got the energy that you had. You're not the person that you were. And you feel like this system, this program is failing me. And I'm not saying that happens, but it does. I'm not saying that's going to happen to you, but it has happened to people. And I know, because let's face it, how many people do you know that have told you that they're going to begin this health and fitness journey, and where they are now is not where they thought they were going to be? Because it's not as easy as, just opening up YouTube and following the advice of numerous trainers and nutritionists and putting it all together and getting it all right. We have to know the difference between what's good for them, what's good for me, and what's good for everybody. And there are 3 categories that do exist. Like, a certain way of consuming foods is going to be healthy for everybody. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, given the fact that we have like massive groups of people who are just almost like at war with their dietary and nutritional choices. But there is one way to consume food which is healthy for absolutely everybody. And if you take that, the core principles of that, then you can change things to suit you. You don't have to follow and copy exactly what other people do. But understanding the core principles does mean that you have the flexibility, okay? And you're able to then obviously implement something into your life that you're going to be able to actually sustain. And that's the most important thing here, because let's face it, nobody really gets their whole life together and changes their life and changes the way they look and changes the way they feel in like 24 hours. It doesn't happen like that. You know that you're going to have to work at this over a long period of time. And I'm not talking about years and years. I mean, it depends on your situation. If you're looking to lose sort of, 100 pounds, if you're looking to lose like, 5-6 stone, then obviously that's going to take a longer period of time than somebody who's looking to strengthen, who's looking to become a little bit fitter and healthier, and is looking to gain more energy and get a better routine in their life and just get rid of maybe some ailments. Maybe there are some physiological problems that you have that you don't get help for. Maybe you've been to the doctor and they've said, this is just the thing. Like, when I was young, it's like, asthma, eczema, they're just things that you just get. They're just happy little accidents that we get, and we just medicate them. And now we know that there are certain things that we can do to actually not get rid of these things entirely, but reduce these things massively so that they rarely happen to us. And this isn't magic. This isn't like some new science. This information has been available to us for years and years now. Like, we're talking 30, 40 years for a lot of it. And the reason that you don't have it to hand right now is because it's not being publicized in mass media. It's not being publicized by legacy media. And it's not something that you're going to get pushed across the table by your doctor because, okay, here is a, I suppose this is a controversial statement that I'll make, but there's a lot of information out there that doesn't make certain people and organizations very well off, and therefore they're not sharing that information because it doesn't benefit them. It doesn't mean it doesn't benefit you. I have 2 children, and obviously they both share a part of my complexion, and therefore when we go out in the sun, we don't get as much vitamin D as some other people that are in my family and that are my friends and that are around me. So we know we have to supplement that vitamin D. But the amount of supplementation that we're being prescribed by medical professionals is not the amount of supplementation that's being prescribed by people who have previously supplemented vitamin D, who have had fantastic results by supplementing vitamin D, who have then prescribed a different amount of vitamin D. So you hear what I'm saying, right? I can't be on here giving you, this isn't medical advice. I'm not a medical professional, so I can't give you any medical advice, right? I'm not going to stand here and tell you that, you need to go down this rabbit hole of looking for information you can't find. The information is out there, but it's just not necessarily easy to narrow it down to what's necessary, what's critical, and what's unnecessary, and what's useless. So yeah, basically that's what this channel is going to be about. Obviously, I'm sorry if I've wasted some of your time. I haven't got answers for you right now. I don't want to be one of those people that's just giving a lot of general information to people, because I just feel like right now that's all we have. And I think the best way we can go about helping each other to be healthier, happier people is if we communicate and we listen and we share the information that's relevant for each other. And so that's what I'm going to do. I want to share information that's relevant to you. So whilst I can do some generic programming, that's going to have to be something that you get from the website. That's going to be something that you have to obviously therefore fill out a questionnaire so that I can understand a little bit more about you. And then I can obviously offer you the information that I think is relative to you. So yeah, I mean, I hate to be in this situation in a way, because it's like, I don't know. I never planned on doing this, but looking at it now, I'm going to the gym. I've been going to my local gym, and people have been going in there and exercising, and I've been looking at them and I've been kind of cringing in a way, because I don't want to be that guy who's constantly going over to people and trying to help them and trying to say, there's a better way to do this, and you're wasting your time and you're going to get injured if you continue down this road. But if I don't, I feel almost like negligent in that I have the information, so I should share it with them. And the people that I have spoke to have been really grateful, really thankful and happy that I have spoken to them. So that's been great to gain that feedback, and it's felt good helping them. But at the same time, like I said at the beginning of this video, I feel like the information is out there and really they should have it. And the fact that they haven't got it just tells me that there's no one who's really giving them that information directly and making sure that they know it's for them and it's not just something that could be for them, could be for someone else and won't work later on down the road. So, I mean, yeah, that's the situation that we're in, guys. So, yeah, you can head over to the website now. Hopefully there's going to be content available for you very, very soon. But if you just fill in the form, then I can let you know when that content's going to be available, and I can help you as much as I can. And if you're not sure who I am, or you want more information about me, I'll put more information about myself on the website. I don't really bother talking about myself. It really doesn't matter. If I can help you, I can help you. If the information I give you doesn't help you, it's more likely going to be because either we don't know anything about you and you've just watched a few YouTube videos and gone away and tried to use that information generically, or you haven't used that information at all. Because I have 14, 15 years experience helping people, helping everybody that I've tried to help get results, and they have. So yeah, good luck with it all. And I'll speak to you again soon. Take care.